for this opportunity to be part of this program and also to speak with you live, ma. So we'd like our viewers to know you, ma. So just a quick introduction of who you are, what you do, your passion and goals.
I'm Dr. Joke Sholanke, the convener of the Leadership Summit. Is our second one here in Nigeria. The first one was in Lagos, University of Lagos, and this second one is taking place live right now at the University of Ibadan.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. So what exactly was your passion? What exactly is the passion that you have for this kind of program for young people? When did you start developing that kind of passion? When did it start? The whole story, the background, so that our listeners or our viewers can learn and know when they have that kind of promptings in their spirit and to act on this. Thank you, ma'am.
I've been off and on working with youth. I think I started in Atlanta. They were middle school students at that time, middle school and high school students, and we'll take them together. But mostly we would do like a travel. We would take a vacation, and we would be there for like 3 days, sometimes 4. I think we've been to Savannah, and we do like a prolonged teaching session. It wasn't rushed because most of the things that we did today is condensed, so we have enough time for everything, fun and impartation. So I've always carried the burden for the youth, and this is the rationale. This is the time that we are making life-defining decisions, and many of us, like I said during one of the teaching, what we can do now is damage control, because some of the decisions that we made at this age. And the best thing to do if you want to contribute to humanity is to help people not make the mistake that you made. Besides that, it's also to provide the pathways to life, because a lot of the critical issues of life don't have manual, and it's not everybody that read their Bible. So one of the things that we want to do is to use the scriptures in an adaptable way to help people find principles of life that will help them as they make life-defining decisions. The audience is final. Focus, of course, is open to everybody. As you can tell, we have adults here too, but the target are youth and specifically undergraduates, because this is the moment that they are transitioning to adulthood.
Thank you so much, ma. So from what you said, ma, you've been doing this program for some years, and program with young people and all. So I want to ask, have you ever had testimonies? Can you share one or two testimonies that you have had from all the programs that you have been having, feedbacks, testimonies from these young people? Thank you.
I would say that the first one of the main thing that made me know that there's a need in this group was, I was with a group of youth. I believe this was 2015, and we were having a conversation on purpose, and I discovered that there was a problem with answering the question of identity, and that was what actually led to the writing of my second book, The Problem of Identity. It's a small book, but it answered so many questions, and sincerely I'm going to tell you that before that book a lot of things I didn't know, and researching and trying to put that together helped me understand why we have there's a problem of identity, because the people that are trying to help you find out who you are also confused about who they are. They've not answered the question, and we continue to pass on the confusion. So writing that book was like an eye-opener, and it was also a motivation that I need to make sure that this answer that I've discovered is not limited to me and people around my circle. I need to place it abroad, if I may borrow that word from the scriptures. So that's one of the testimony, because working with the youth gave back to the writing of that book. And also, probably let me share most recent ones that was here today, re-echoed on some of the ones. Just saying yes and coming to Lagos in April, I didn't even know how impactful it was until people started sending emails to me. I mean, we have people that are volunteering today. One of them reported that in the past she was one that was like she stayed in the background, not motivated, but now she stepped forward to ask to volunteer, and she's been running around. We have multiple. I've had students that didn't really know. Okay, let me share this one, and then we can go to the next question. So last year when we came, there was this student that was, I didn't make the selection for the scholarship, so her name was on there, and I was asking, but I was presenting the scholarship award. So I was like, which school are you? And she said she's not in any school. I was like, okay, you don't need to be here. And she was like, she just lost her admission. And that gave me, I paused. So I was like, okay, just stay. If you get another admission, we'll come to the rescue. But I didn't know her whole story then. But like 4 or 5 days ago, somebody reached out to me and said, remember that girl that came out that was not in school, that she said she lost her admission. She's about to lose this other admission, and because there's no money to pay the acceptance fee, which was 90,000 naira. And I was like, okay, I need to know the story. So this has been happening since 2018. So she was admitted to LASU for mass communication. She couldn't go. She was admitted to Taisho Larin for English, as she couldn't go, and that's been the pattern. And she just lost an admission to Taisho Larin when we came in April. So she now got an admission to Oye, yeah, yes. So study English education, and she couldn't afford, the parents couldn't afford to give her the 19,000 naira. So we were able to pay that, and our total tuition will be 320,000 naira. Of course, for the new student, the acceptance fee, medical fee, and all that, the tuition itself is 190,000 naira. If I convert that to dollars, that's about $200, a little over $200. I know people that when they go to restaurant, they spend double of that. And that's what somebody needs for a whole year to be in school. And my thing is, she said in her story, she was 18 when she has been fighting this. And the evil cycle is not demonic now, it's financial. It's a cycle of poverty that has limited her destiny. And she said, I should have graduated by now. And what moved me about this girl was, she didn't give up. She kept working. She works, but all she could raise was to pay for JAMB. So she continued to take JAMB that she could afford, not knowing how she's going to pay for the school fees. And the fact that she didn't give up was enough for me to say, you know what, let's do this. But our commitment for Blossom is a year scholarship. But I read her story that I don't want her to be reapplying every year. So I reached out to one of our partners. I just sent her story, and she was like, what do you want for this girl? I said, we are going to take her the first year. We already paid the acceptance fee, but I need somebody to adopt her and pay for the remaining 3 years for her to graduate. And she said she'd send her condition, her grades and registration and monitoring has to be controlled. Of course, we don't give money to the students, we pay directly to the school for accountability purposes. So I said, no, that's not the problem. I have people on ground that will help monitor those grades and all that. So by the grace of God, because we are doing this, we've been able to help somebody move from potential to performance when it comes to our academic pursuits. So if I didn't come in April, God would have used who he wanted to use, but she's been around the same mountain for 5 years.
Thank you so much, man. That was an awesome testimony. All right, man. So, talking about this particular program in Ibadan, so titled Good Success. So, how would you define good success in simple terms? Good success.
Good success is very simple and also complex. The first thing I want to say is, if there's good success, that means there's bad success. So it means that some of the things we call success may not be success. So in a nutshell, good success is your ability to live according to what is written of you. I will use the parable of the talent to echo my definition of good success. When Jesus spoke that parable, Said there were 3 servants, one had 5 talents, one had 2, and one had 1. So the 5 talent man had good success because he used the 5 talents appropriately. The 2 talent man, the same, had good success because he used the talent appropriately. Jesus didn't ask him why he didn't get 10 because he only had 2, and the expectation is to work within what has been given to him. But the one despised that which he had, and he had bad success because that one he lost it. So good success is not about me trying to be like you. If I don't have 5 talents, I don't need to compete with you. Congratulations to you on your 5 talents, because 5 talents comes with more responsibility. So if mine is just 2 and I'm able to trade with my 2, that's good success. If God has called me into youth ministry, and for instance this program now, and I have testimony and good success, let me say this by the way, that beneath everything we are doing is a passion for souls. So we're not just about talking about leadership or helping with scholarship and all that, or raising mentors. The foundation of this, which I also tell God, is for salvation. And I think when we came in April, about 13 people gave their life to Christ. I want to get the count for this one because this is good success. For this summit, good success means we have people come to Christ. The scholarship does not benefit the kingdom. That's the truth. It's for us here. What benefits the kingdom, the harvest of souls, is good success. So we have 7 people said yes to Christ. So that's good success. So for this year's summit, altogether we have 20 people said yes. That is good success. So if I have to measure success of any of our programs, is how many people came to Christ. Of course, it's not something we can influence or control, and that's why the prayer part was very important. That God, you have to show, because how we measure success in any of our program is how many people gave, not even deliverance, how many souls are rescued from destruction. Because until you align with your maker, you can't talk about good success. So it's not a function of money or influence or wealth or all those things. They are not, it's spiritual. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that answer. So the next question I want to ask is still around success, because from some of the sessions that we have had today, we talked about failures and talking about success. So I want to ask 2 questions in one. The first one is, can we have failures? Can we have success without failures? And if we can't have successes without failures, when I mean failures, I mean setbacks, some oppositions that we have. So if that is not possible for us to have success without failure, how do we manage failures? And also, I want to bring it to this context of this program. Since you started this program, have you ever had any setbacks, any summits, any setbacks, any failures that almost wanted to put you off, to say, okay, maybe not? All right, so that people can know that this thing is real about failures and success. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So, like I said in one of my main presentation, failure is part of success. I'm not sure who call it failure, because we probably need to change it. We can call it setback. Setback is part of success, and the reason why that happens is when we're talking about good success in life, it's very complex, because you're not the only player, and sometimes you can only control yourself and what is within your influence, but there are other players that you need for the outcome, and sometimes the outcome becomes flawed in the hands of other people. Of course, sometimes we contribute to it as well. Like I said about the first failed project was God's project, and when that failed, it wasn't because God didn't do his part. It was because the other players dropped the ball. So that was a problem, and then he found a way to get it resolved. It was a long haul, but he was able to pull things together. With that being said, have we had setback? I'll prefer to use that word. Have we had setback in the course of this program? I would say yes, or multiple setback, but it's not failure. We didn't see failure because we already know it's going to be part of the process. I mean, setback in terms of the venue. The venue we are in is not standard, I would say that, compared to the one we have in Lagos. So that's a setback. But we made it work because some things you can kind of manage and just get the results. Did we get the results? Yes, we got the result. So there are other setbacks, but I think life has conditioned me to not look at setbacks, but just look at what works because it drains my energy. And when people are talking to me, don't tell me the problem. What's the solution? I already know the problem exists. So don't come to my office and re-echo the problem. What are we going to do about it? So that's the way. So I'm not problem focused. I'm solution oriented. So probably that has really prevented me from paying attention to all those logistics. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. So if you are watching us, don't be problem focused, but be solution oriented. So lastly, the last question. So what exactly is happening right now in this program? You know, there are some people are standing teaching, some people are sitting down. What exactly is going on right now?
So right now we have a breakout session. Like when we had the April Summit, one of the things that we did and we're still going to continue to do in all our events is to do post-summit survey. So during the survey, I take time personally to read it because I believe in continuous improvement. Number one. Number two, this program is not about me alone. There are other people that are part of it. So when we are delivering something, it's like you giving me rice, I don't like rice. Over time, I won't come and eat at your table because rice is not what I want. So we took time to find out what do you want in this summit, because that's important. There are certain basic things that God is not going to tell us. He gives us the overarching thing, but all the other additions, we have to use our brain that he has given us. So the feedback is what gave birth to this. So people say we need more conversation on leadership, we need more conversation on networking, entrepreneurship, career, networking, identity, purpose. So it was different needs. So I was like, we can, and then the time constraint. But because people have different needs, we are all at different space, we decided to do like a breakout session. So what is your main priority need? So you go to the section that initially we're going to assign people, and somebody said no. One of the things I do is listen. So somebody said no, because if we assign them, you're like forcing them to listen. It may not be what they need. Let them pick where they want to be. Even if a class is small, it's okay. If it's small but beneficial, it's going to be more impactful than just having somebody sit on identity when that's not their problem. They need to learn how to build a business and survive on campus. So that's what gave birth to this. So we have 5 initially, but we condensed it into 4 because the people that signed up for career were not a lot, and we have more people on entrepreneur, which is kind of linked. So we match the career development to entrepreneurial thing, and then leadership, of course, and identity and purpose, and then networking. So the feedback from this one, we inform some of the things that we're going to do next year.
Thank you so much, ma, for that. So lastly, what is one thing you like our audience to know that you have not mentioned? Just a last word of advice or statement.
There are a lot of things I want to say, but the last thing I'm going to say is until you find who you are or discover who you are and you're plugged into purpose, you can have good success. Your fulfillment is tied in living the life that God has curated for you, and it will be your responsibility to find that, get the answer for yourself, and then run your own race. I pray that you take it to that and take the next steps in starting the journey to good success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma, for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you, ma.